back to another episode, crew. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe, keep up to date what I'm trying to share with you guys. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Down Under Championships, which will be held in Wollongong at WIN Stadium in November this year. They've just had the online qualifiers, and I'm going to look at the leaderboard, talk about who made it, who didn't make it, okay, as well as have a look at some up-and-comers who are coming through the sport who possibly might have qualified that we haven't really had a big introduction to yet in the CrossFit space. So we're going to start off on the men's side. So in first place was Zeke Grove. Now this one was really cool to see, considering that Zeke actually didn't qualify for the Torium Pro this year. He did all the qualifiers and stuff, however, he wasn't successful of making the top 40 gents to go on to the Torium Pro. He only, I think he just missed out on the qualifying stages. So for him to actually win the overall leaderboard, now keeping in mind that the top 5 athletes from the Torium Pro, they did get direct invites to the actual Down Under Championships. They did not have to do the online qualifiers. However, for him still to have gotten first place out of all of the men who who signed up for the qualifiers was pretty awesome to see. Now, there's a few. So Reese Matchell, he came in 5th. Curtis Jackson, he's another big one. Now, another awesome one who I see on the leaderboard, number 9, Brandon Swan. So once again, he's another person who didn't qualify for the Torium Pro this year, and he is now qualified for the Down Under in November. Then in 10th place is the up-and-coming athlete, Zach Thomas. So he qualified for the Torium Pro. He didn't finish too great at the Torium Pro. However, he is quite young. He's only just starting off in his CrossFit career. I definitely think he has a lot to give, and I think he's going to be someone that you need to keep an eye on in this sport, because I think he's going to be one of the next big players who comes through in the Australian space. Now, Matt McLeod, he came in 11th. Matt McLeod and Emily have only just recently had a baby, a little baby girl called Blake. Super adorable. So that's pretty awesome, considering he's probably getting hardly any sleep and stuff at the moment, to be able to qualify for this on top of being a new dad as well, which is awesome. And then in 14th place, we have Jacob Wheeler. Now, Jacob Wheeler actually put a post up after the leaderboard settled and stuff, and he was in shock that he qualified. He hasn't really been focusing on trying to do well in CrossFit, I guess, and he hasn't really been in the greatest mind space with his training and stuff. So for him to qualify, he said it was an awesome achievement, and it was something unexpected. However, he's a great athlete. He has a little strength and stuff. He hasn't got many weaknesses in his game. The only thing I would probably say is that, being a shorter athlete, some of the endurance pieces of the machines and stuff would hinder him. However, he's obviously done really, really well. In 15th place, we have Evan Morris. So that'd be awesome to see for him. And people who I was surprised who didn't make it, Liam Ford. So he came in 37th after the qualifiers. Now, Liam Ford, he is definitely known as a stronger athlete. From the qualifier workouts, there wasn't like a 1-rep max or anything like that, which really kind of jumps some athletes up in the leaderboard. Now, all of the workouts, they were quite high intensity as well, and there was some strict gymnastics and stuff involved in some of the workouts. So for Liam, I guess some of the workouts just weren't in his favour. The only other two people who kind of surprised me of not qualifying was Jake Souls and Jack Stanton. Both of those athletes qualified for Torium Pro and actually did not too bad at Torium Pro. So I was a little bit, interested to see that Jake Souls was 54th and then Jack Stanton was 56th. So, they've obviously got a few holes in their games when it comes to their stuff, or maybe they had taken an off season straight after Torium Pro and not actually thought about Down Under, then jumped in last minute with the qualifiers, who knows. However, I think Down Under is going to be pretty good. So they're only taking 18 on the individual side, and then obviously they've got invites to other people as well. Now on the female side, Caitlin Van Zyl absolutely crushed it. Okay, so she came first. Now, Caitlin Van Zyl has been around the CrossFit space for a while. She's an individual athlete. She's been to the games as an individual athlete. She's been to Wodapalooza as an individual athlete. And for the last 2 years, she's been on Team Urban at the CrossFit Games with her husband and her good friends, the Manzeys. Now, Jay Lee Manzey, who is a part of Team Urban, she actually came 29th, so not too far out of the cutoff position. However, Caitlin Banzil is literally in a world of her own. She is a phenomenal athlete, super well-rounded, doesn't really have any holes in her game. Like, she's very strong-minded as well. You know, being a mum of 2 boys, she knows how to just get stuff done. She did say that, you know, before the qualifiers, that she was actually really sick and she couldn't wait to have them finished so as she could let her body recover. Considering that she won the online qualifiers and she's still not feeling 100%, shows how pretty awesome she is. Now, second place was Georgia Pryor. Super excited to see what she does in this space. I think that Georgia's definitely shown that she can be up there with some of the best of them. And then we got Bryony Chalice. Now, she actually went to the games with Christy Hollard on their team just recently. And then we've got a fair few other athletes. 8th place, Ellie Hutchins. So we just did a vlog with her, and phenomenal up-and-coming athlete. On the girls' side, these girls who are starting to come through are excellent athletes. They are so good, and they're getting like so fit so fast. In 9th place, you got Marnie Sykes. She actually just went to the games as well on CrossFit Selwyn's team. 14th place is Mackenzie Woodhouse. So Mackenzie Woodhouse, she actually trains at CrossFit Wharf in Wagga. She's, I think, about 19 years old. I've known Mackenzie since she started probably doing CrossFit maybe when she was about 15, and she's been really good and consistent ever since, and she's just getting better and better and better and better. She just is a hard worker, always training really hard and stuff, and I think that once she starts to develop that confidence outside of her gym at other competitions, I really, really think that she is going to be like phenomenal in this sport. So I'm super excited for her. In 16th place was Courtney Fitzharris. Now, Courtney Fitzharris has had a few injuries and stuff over the last few years that have plagued her. So it's awesome to see that, you know, she's coming back from those and she's, you know, still able to do the qualifiers and come out with the best of them. I was a little bit sad to see that Gemma Hock and Georgia Welsman didn't qualify. Both of those ladies did really, really well at Torian, and I'm pretty sure they both finished inside the top 10. So I was a little bit sad for them. However, like I mentioned on the boys' side, maybe they took part of an off season, they weren't fully committed for Down Under, and then signed up last minute just to see how they go. However, you know, both of those girls I think will make it back to Torian anyway. On the girls' side as well, Emily Atten, so she came in 52nd. However, she is training for Olympic weightlifting comp and a strongwoman comp and trying to do the Down Under qualifiers. She did, however, I'm pretty sure qualify as part of a team as well on the women's side. So, you know, with the amount of things that she's juggling at the moment, she did say that she didn't expect to do the greatest in the online qualifiers. She was just going to, you know, put her name into the individuals and just see how she went. So, yeah, on the girls' side, I think it's going to be interesting. Now, they did have a post on Down Under page that Tia is coming back for the Down Under CrossFit Championships. However, she's not going individual, she's on a team. On her team is Ellie Turner, who just went to the games as well for Australia, and Brooke Wells. So it's going to be those 3 girls, and I think that's going to be one of the toughest female teams that Down Under is going to see. On the men's side, I know Boyce Dunn is going in a team. Jay Crouch, I believe, is going individuals, and so is Ricky Garrard. So it's going to stack up to actually be an awesome competition, and it'll be interesting to see, you know, where the Down Under Championships goes next year after their first year. You know, their first year has got some incredible big name athletes at it. So I'd love to know what surprise money is going to be like. Is it going to be huge like at Dubai? Or is it going to be like middle of the pack range between, or hopefully a little bit more than what CrossFit was offering at the semi-finals, you know, to make it more worthwhile for the athletes, like how Wodapalooza is and stuff. So is the Down Under Championships going to become like Australia's Wodapalooza, for example? Let's talk about the Masters, men 35 to 40. So Lars Christensen, he won every single event and qualified. In third place was Luke Starr, so he's the owner of Star Strength and Conditioning. And then in 11th place was Jay. So Jay actually has only been focusing on getting back into CrossFit and stuff for the last 3 months. And he's been following Comp Train's programming, pretty much training exclusively from home, just focusing on his diet. He works with our friend Jade, who has Midnight Health and Nutrition. He does all of his his nutrition through her, and consistently training and stuff. And then he decided to, at the end of this year, he becomes 35, he turns 35, so, it was his opportunity to be able to register in this because he was turning 35 this year, so we got to register in the Masters division. And, initially I thought, there's like 50 people registered, he'll probably come middle of the pack, he's only been training for 3 months, and then he literally has missed out by 3 spots out of qualifying to go to Down Under. I do think that 8 spots is not enough. I think that Masters deserve to have more positions, especially those younger age Masters where it's super competitive still. So hopefully that's something that they can bring in a bit more next year, like have a bigger Masters field, maybe less on the intermediate teams and stuff like that, and more like heavily focus on the RX kind of divisions and stuff. So, or maybe they could just do 1 day of intermediate competition and then have the rest all just for RX teams or individuals and stuff. So that was pretty cool, and I'm excited for him. I think next year is going to be a big year for him. I think he's going to try and look into qualifying for Touring Pro as a master, which would be awesome. I think he'll do really well. So yeah, it'll be exciting. And Down Under this year is I think it's going to rival maybe Touring Pro. Everyone loves that location. It's right on the beach. I'm sure they'll probably have a beach event like a swim or something. So that'll be awesome to watch. And yeah, it'll be awesome to see what the prize money is like and how many people it brings in and stuff, and whether or not they sell out. Supposedly they have already sold out all their gold seating. I'm not exactly sure how that worked because that stadium wasn't blocked off or anything. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually works. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for, that competition, and it'll be fun times to see how everyone goes. And plus it's also a great way to see how these up and coming athletes stack up against those who are qualifying. I don't know if Cara Saunders is going to be doing this comp, and Tia's not doing individuals, and neither is Ellie Turner, so that's your top 3 out of the female side. So it'll be interesting to see on the women's side who's going to go. Like, I personally still think that Caitlin Van Zyl is going to run away with it because she's just a ridiculously good athlete and so well-rounded. However, you never know. On the weekend, you might get a surprise and someone else comes along and dashes away. So yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, keep up to date what I'm sharing with you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, crew. Catch us in the next one.